Hey everyone, Em here. We're saying goodbye to 2021 and the podcast is taking a much needed break. But we aren't going to leave you hanging. As the year comes to a close, it's so important to reflect back on all that you have accomplished, learned, and overcome. Resolutions are great, but sticking to them is kind of hard, so Mo and I wanted to share some episodes that we think may help you as you enter 2022. Listen in as we discuss self-care for the first time. Enjoy!
Hey girl.
Hey Mo, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
So what are you up to this fine Sunday morning?
Doing some laundry. Exciting times. Folded up some clothes.
Yeah. Your
What about you?
Errands and laundry and the usual.
What's the usual?
Just life. I don't know. Watching my babies. We're still trying to get the house together and stuff. And
Do y'all have any like Sunday customs or routines?
not since the pandemic. I feel like that just threw everything out of whack.
I feel like for the past 20 years, my Sundays have been brunch. Like pretty much some kind of brunch. Not so much in the pandemic, but enough, at least once a month.
Yeah. No, we used to do stuff. We used to, on the weekends, we would always go for like a walk. Like everybody in our community walks a lot. So, and we're right on some trail. So we'd go hiking or walk or, we've been to the lake that's nearby before, or just do something.
That's
take
still,
the kids to...
you could still go to the park.
Yeah, we could still do
walk.
that. But I feel like
Yeah.
over time, you just kind of feel like, well, we can't go outside. We have to put masks on. And it's a whole thing.
Yes, it's uncomfortable with masks. But
It is, especially when you're trying to hike or be physical. Like it's...
yeah. But I'm like, if my ass can go walking, them little babies can go walking.
Yeah. We haven't been on a walk, like, through our neighborhood with all three kids in a while, because they're out of the stroller now. We used to just pile them. I mean,
Oh
we've
my
been cramming
God.
the two little ones in the stroller, and now it's like, and they have a mind of their own. So,
Yeah.
and that stresses me out. So let's
Get
be
a
real.
leash. You see those people with their kids on.
I used to laugh at that. I'd be like, I would never put my child on a leash. And then,
But I heard it's for like some kids need it, like it's a behavioral,
Secure,
not even behavior.
well, they put them on a backpack. I mean, they put it on a backpack. And it's not like they're like dogs or something, but you have a little backpack. I know my oldest had a little backpack, and it had a little, it was a monkey with a tail. And so you would hold the tail.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if they got it like a shocking collar.
Oh,
like, hey, you going out this vicinity? Boom! Don't do it again.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Is that Pavlov?
Don't let it. I changed my mind. Don't have babies. You can't have no babies. What are we talking about?
Those glasses looking fly.
I gotta keep the intellectual.
Fashionista.
No, I haven't.
Fashionista.
I haven't taken my contacts out of my eyes for 2 months. Talk about not taking the time for self-care. I didn't take my contacts. They're weeklies, I think. You're supposed to take them out every week. And I just be passing out my contacts. I had them on when I was in Vegas. I mean, they've been in my eyes since...
Wait, you had a 1 week pair on for 2 months?
Yeah. I just don't take,
You take it out and on?
No.
Or you...
They've just been in my eyes for 2 months.
Girl, that's dangerous.
Probably. I had to literally peel them off my eyes. So now I'm going to be wearing
Yeah.
my glasses for about a week to reset and then put in a new pair.
Do they got the blue blockers?
Blue blockers.
The blue light blocker?
Oh, my glasses? No. But I have a pair of those. But yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I don't take my contacts out ever.
I do something like that. Talking about letting yourself go. Let me stop.
I didn't say that, but dang.
Same thing. I have glasses. They're easily accessible. And I don't wear them.
Can you
I
see?
let my contacts expire. I can barely see. I mean, I can see enough to see. And so it's like, I feel like what I'm doing is I'm going to end up straining my eyes and making my vision worse. And then I will have to. And it's like, why do I push myself to the point where I have to do something instead of knowing, it's just like, it's some kind of laziness. I don't know, it's something. Because it's like I can put glasses on my face, so why am I not?
Well, maybe we can talk about self-care. Because I feel like that takes different forms. And one of those things, why are you not getting them done? Are you just forgetting? Are you just like, I'm not trying to do that right now, get my eyes checked or order new contacts? Like, why aren't you
Well,
doing
I got my eyes checked. I have a prescription and everything. And I'd go on the site.
Get on 1-800-CONTACTS and go get you some contacts.
Well, these are for glasses.
Okay.
And I go on the site.
Get on some Warby Parker.
I'd be on Zlol and Zenny and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Doing a little try on. And then it's just like I
go to Costco.
I don't have endurance.
Just get my glasses at Costco. It's easy. I do everything at Costco.
Nice.
Try to simplify my life.
Stay in Costco. I remember we went to Costco once.
Yeah.
Fun times. Well, we didn't go once, but recently. I remember back when I used to eat meat, we used to go to Costco.
Get them hot dogs.
For work.
Chicken bakes.
Oh, man. Chorizo.
Ooh.
I mean, not chorizo. What I'm talking about. The hot dog. The churro.
Oh, I love me a churro.
Dang. But I've been eating too many.
I'm going to Costco today. I might, if they're open, if they have the food court open, I'll get me a churro.
So what is self-care? Like,
I have a definition.
What is that?
So the definition of self-care is the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health and taking an active role in protecting one's own well-being and happiness. You know me, I gotta have,
That's the dumbest definition I've ever heard.
It's caring for yourself, self-care.
Right, isn't that sad?
Yeah.
That's sad.
That's
like that should be the baseline.
Right, like survival.
That is so sad. Humans, man. Because we're pack animals, it's hard.
It's
all about the pack. And then it's like self.
Well, as long as we are fed and we are not being like hunted or whatever.
Fed and wed.
Like that's our basic. Other than that, like we just as humans and as Americans even, I feel like we love to pile on the to-do list. Like this, what else can I do to stress myself out? Like, I'll take it on. Yeah. I'll join this charity.
Because you have no value in yourself. So yeah.
It's codependency.
I wasn't going to say it. See, I know you hate that word. God.
It's everywhere. But it is, like if we don't take on and say yes all the time, then we're not getting validated and we're not getting what we perceive as the emotional self-care, the emotional health, which is being fed from other people.
Exactly. And it's like, oh, you're a hard worker. You're up here doing all these different things. You're losing yourself. That's, fabulous. You're on the go doing all these different things. And it's like, wait, where's the self-care? Yeah.
So what is...
and you don't even realize it.
What is self-care? I mean, I'm struggling with this right now. And so my brain is the type of brain to be like, oh, look up the definition, like a dork, or like make a graph. So I full on was like, hey, there's two things.
I love you.
You got to do there's physical self-care items, there's emotional, mental self-care, and then there are things you could do that would feed both. Because I'm really trying to figure out how to fit this into my life. I'm Googling stuff. Because for the longest time, especially moms, they're always big about, self-care. And then they like to say, self-care is take a shower. Like, no, girl, that's basic.
I was about to say that. That is self-care.
I mean, yeah, but like for me, I think
but that's what I'm saying, the definition is taking care of
yourself. But a shower shouldn't be deemed as, I washed my body for 5 minutes, which is something I have to do as self-care. Like there should be...
Yeah, but you have to understand people are coming from a different place. And I can speak for myself personally. There have been days where I didn't want to even wake up.
Yes, girl, I've been there.
I didn't want to wake up, period, ever. and like dragging myself out of bed was enough. So to take a shower every day, it's like, dang. I mean, that's sad to say, but it's like when your vibration is low, to take a shower every day helps to raise it because it's like you're taking care of yourself, you're cleansing yourself, and it's almost like a metaphorical thing as well. So
I feel you on that, like emotionally, where you don't want to do anything. You don't want to get out of bed. You just don't want to do life. But I think, especially in like the mom community, it's like, it's almost like a badge of honor. Like, it's been so busy with these babies that I haven't showered in 3 days. Like, and sometimes Olympics or whatever. Yeah, but it's
struggle Olympics.
It's a reality. Because there are days where you know what? Everybody needs to be bathed, diapers, breastfeeding, all this stuff, and you can't. You don't have a time to just get in there and like shave your legs. Like any of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's actually called performative narcissism, I think.
Oh, Lord.
And it's...
Well, no, I'm
it's
talking
where,
about
look at
real
me.
life. No, it's... Well, yeah,
Yeah.
the talking
No,
about it. Talking about it makes it performative narcissism.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So it's like, it makes them feel good to say, look at what I did.
I'm momming so
Look,
hard.
I did all of these things. And that fills their cup.
Yeah.
So it's like an egotistical kind of thing. It's look it up, performative narcissism.
Yeah. I think it turns into like a more of a commiseration, like trying to find a connection with another mom when you're having that conversation. Because the women I've talked to that have had that, it's been more of like a, are you doing, like more of like a, is this, am I okay? Like it comes from a place of like,
cry for help.
yeah, like that. And so, I mean, I feel for that. But I mean, there are times when you can't get a shower or you can't sit down and enjoy a hot cup of coffee. And like those things can be self-care in those moments. But I think just generally in my life, like a shower does not cut it. You know what I mean? Like that's basic. Like I need to put clothes on my body. That's not self-care to me. You know what I mean? Like I you know.
So you have to make your own definition.
Right. So that's what I did. I made a list. I, was like, oh, there's certain things. Because there's some things that I just like you said, just let it go.
Like what?
Well, before I felt so busy or my to-do list or all my yeses, I need to start saying no. That's one of my things. When we did our Instagram live, I know I mentioned a couple times, oh, my kids are out there. Oh, and it's just realizing that like the world will continue to revolve and things will happen if I take myself out of the equation for like an hour. So being able to say no and prioritizing my time, my needs, my time, even if that need isn't a physical one, it's like I need to get away from everything, lock the door, and just be, and knowing that that's okay. Physical self-care.
Boundaries. Look at those boundaries.
I know. It's hard though. When you've set up a pattern without boundaries, it's hard to all of a sudden say, no, I'm taking my time back.
Reclaiming my time.
Okay. Auntie Maxie.
I find that I lack self-care in times when I have a fear. There's some uncertainty I'm dealing with right now, like to surrender my life to God, because that is what's been showing to be the right thing to do. Because when you just let it go.
You gotta release and let go, girl.
Yeah, it just, everything comes together. And then once I resist God, it's like a domino effect. Then everything starts falling apart because it's a story I'm making up in my head.
Yeah.
And I got a candle burning, so me, my anxiety stuff. I'm like, oh God, is it the candle? Because I'm doing one of those, because I'm out of alignment, right? Spiritual alignment right now. There's some negative energy flowing, and I don't know what it is, like where it's from. And so I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. So a friend of mine gave me a candle, and it's a House of Intuition. It's a balance candle. You set your intention and you light it until it burns out.
Wow.
And so that could be days. And then once
you're like, it's been a long time.
Once you get to the end, there's a stone that you can kind of keep as a symbol of that intention you set. But yeah, like I used to not believe in talisman and things like that, but now I understand what they are. It's not that they do anything, it's that your thoughts create your reality. So it's hard to think in the abstract. So if I have this physical item that I can look at, it's setting that mental note. Yeah, reminding me. And so it's kind of like manifestation. And so I'm like, okay, now that makes sense to me. When there's fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, and guilt and shame, those kinds of emotions drain your energy and take away from that self-love. So it's like releasing those things and like surrendering to God. Like I am one with God, but I'm not God. So why am I trying to take on all of this burden? Like I have no control. It's all an illusion. Mm-hmm. So,
see, I need that control. Like I seek and crave that control because it makes me feel
it's safe,
secure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or just, I mean, that's good. That's good to focus on for the emotional and mental self-care. I feel like that's one that gets overlooked a lot. Is how to care for your mind, how to care for your soul.
I have to. Because if you don't do that, you don't. So that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry it's taking me so long. Oh, I'm not apologizing.
Get to it. Wasting my time with your stories. Just kidding.
That's what I'm saying. You have to do them for me. I don't tell anybody what to do. You do you. for me, I have to get to the mind, because you've known me for quite enough time. You've seen me several sizes and weight, up and down and all around.
All around. Okay. Ooh, we got a movement. Are we dancing?
Literally and figurative. So I realized that until I get to the mental reason I do things that are not for my own benefit, so eating junk food, drinking, like things like that, until I get to the bottom of it, in excess, I mean, like, eating too much, intaking too many calories, until I get to the bottom of the mental reason why, and I learn the mental ways of control, like that's where you actually need control and just willpower, then I can conquer the food and exercise. Because why don't I give myself 30 minutes a day to work out? There are 30 minutes in a day where I could find to work out. And I feel like that's self-love. It's to love yourself enough to say, you do it for your kids. If you saw your kids eating candy every day, you'd be like, no, that's detrimental to your health. So why aren't we doing that for ourselves? And it's like for me, it's like food is a comfort thing, but it's actually not comforting, because
it's not a lasting
it doesn't
thing.
last. Yeah, it's temporary. So you have to find that comfort without anything. So that's that non-attachment, whatever. But it's hard. Like I need to be because somebody just hypnotized me.
Bam!
All right, gonna lose weight. Hey. Yeah. So that's the true self-care to me. Just the basic loving yourself enough to take care of yourself in a way. And I think that's why some people have this attraction, like this pull with them. It's because they emanate like self-care. Like I'm just existing. I'm just going with the flow. I'm not attached to any kind of outcome. It's just a natural thing. And I know people are trying to teach it, but I'm like, can you really teach it? Intuitive eating or whatever that is.
And I think it's like, different for everybody.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like
literally every body. Like
yeah. Life. By the end of it's like not by the end of the year because I have a big event or anything like that, but it's just, I think that's enough time for me to figure out why, like as a product of that negative energy, worried out, fear, etc., that I eat, And so it's like, if I can figure that out, then I won't have that need to eat. And I think that's meditation. Meditation is also a form of self-care. And just sitting with the thoughts and just sitting and just letting things pass and then coming to realizations. I mean, that's how I've come to this point. So just got to keep going, because I stopped like with the pandemic. I think like the first part of the pandemic, I was like, keep up the momentum,
this is me
Zoom
time.
Yoga class, meditate. And then, it kind of died out, getting into those lower vibrations. And then, it's like been a radio frequency, just up and down. So I don't know, like
you said something that kind of like my ears perked up, and you said, oh, it's not like I have a certain event or something. Deadlines. I think this is this is American of us to work. Your worth comes from work, from what you produce, what you can show that you've done in a day. When you said, oh, not that I have a certain event. And it's interesting to me how the mind has been trained. If I have my wedding coming up, I could lose 50 pounds if I need to in a short amount of time. I will do what needs to be done. And I think the hard part right now is not having time constraints and being able to sit in yourself and figure out how to be healthy, how to be right without a deadline. I feel like it's...
Deadline.
I feel like it's... No, but I feel like that's maybe the unhealthy part, is the stress.
Carrot chasing.
Stress isn't always bad, though. So I feel like we shouldn't be like, oh, stress is terrible, we got to release all the stress, because stress is what motivates you to live. Like, I mean, there's a certain amount of stress that just animals live under. You know what I mean? Like, just certain stress helps your body react to things. Like, it's an excess, just like with anything else, an excess of stress that you're not able to process. I know, and this is maybe something I have to work on, that if I have a deadline, I am more likely to get something done than if I'm just in a state of being. Do you know what I mean? Like,
why is that? Because I'm like that. So, you know me, I'm always late for some reason. Always late. But I always make my flights. I did get pre-check so I can be a little faster, but...
See, is that self-care?
Like,
knowing your routines and your practices or your common experiences and preparing for that so it's less stressful.
Yes, I believe
So that
that
could be
because
self,
it's like, why do I do
pre-check
that?
for
Like,
you.
why do I do that to myself? It's like I need that stress, like you said, I need that adrenaline in order to be motivated to get there on time. It's like, oh, I'm gonna miss my flight. Oh, I gotta get there. And it's like, why do I do that to myself? Then I gotta, as soon as I check in, I gotta go shit because I'm like nervous and stuff. Like, come on.
I'm the exact opposite. I think my
Yeah,
self-care...
you get there 5 hours early.
I'm always early to everything. And I was just, like, I just picked my parents up from the airport, and it was a zoo. And I'm surprised that so many people are flying, like, so many all of a sudden. It was so hard to pick them up because there were cars everywhere at the airport.
It was back to normal looking.
Yeah, and I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking to myself. Like, God, I don't remember what the airport was like before all this. Like, this is, it was too much. But I'm the type of person... If I'm driving on the road, if you need to get into my lane, I'll let you in my lane. I don't care. Like, I'm never in a rush to get somewhere. I am always early. I don't understand. Maybe I don't understand your situation. Like, when I'm on the road and people are like, oh, it seems like they're in a rush. Like, I gotta get to work. I don't understand that.
Yeah,
like, why are you like
I don't
that?
understand that either. That's dangerous.
Yeah, but for me, it's like I allot myself more than enough time to get to wherever I need to be. And then I'll just sit and wait when I get there if I'm early. And that allows me some time. Usually this is like the social anxiety part. Like if I'm meeting up with somebody, like it gives me time to kind of hype myself up to go talk to somebody, I mean,
See, I think that's what it is. I think that's the opposite. So we're the opposite. I think for me, it's a combination of things. It's a combination of it depends on the day. So is it one of those days where I'm dragging, like I can't even get up, or is it a day where I'm like gotta psych myself up to go somewhere or do something? And then also it's that same anxiety of sitting in that silence. If I'm not meditating, why would I want to sit here in silence? It's like it's almost like, okay, I'm going to give myself this amount of time to get somewhere, but I'm not thinking about, oh, wait, what if there's an accident? What if this happens? What if that? I thought, it takes this amount of time to get there. So I don't know. But then also just getting like distracted and doing stuff at home. So it's like being more organized, like setting alarms. But yeah, it's just like really, I think for me, it's just like sitting in the silence. Like I don't want to sit in a waiting room or anything like that.
I'd rather do that than rushing in like, oh, did I miss my appointment? I'd rather sit there. Like, maybe they can take me early and I can take my ass home right quick. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'd rather just get
that's happened
early.
Before.
I love that.
Take and then it's early. Like one time I missed the bus.
I missed the bus.
Because I came right on time. And so I missed it.
Do you remember that song?
A little bit early.
We were talking about Chris Cross. I missed the bus. And that is something I'll never
ever do again. And so then I was like, well, at least I'll be early for the next bus. And then that bus was late.
Silver lining.
But then that bus was late and never came. But
ooh, that's like a metaphor for something deeper. Shoot. No, but that does sound like something like I missed the bus. And the next one never came. Lord, better hop on that bus when you see it. Sorry.
But yeah, the next one never came.
Side note, you just remind me of something. When I was in Barcelona, my husband and I, for our honeymoon, we stood there at the bus stop, like we were going to take a bus to Las Ramblas or whatever. And the bus came, we're like, oh, this is our bus, right? I don't speak Catalan, I speak Spanish. And so I didn't understand a lot of the things that were written on the whatevers. But the bus, we saw our bus, we stood up, we were like all excited, and the bus just blew right past us. And we didn't know you have to hail your bus. Like, you have to stop it, otherwise they're not going to... Which is so efficient, I feel like. They should do that here, too. Like, why are you stopping at a bus stop that doesn't have anybody sitting at it? If nobody's asked to get off.
They don't.
Anyways. Yeah, well, this one was weird because there were people at the bus stop, and they still didn't stop. So you have to, like, wait. So we had to wait, like, half an hour for the next bus.
Oh, anyways. That sucks. Yeah, but I do that anyway. Like, when they get to a certain point, I'm like... And then if they still do it when I wave them down, then I make a report.
Oh,
they never call you back.
Look at you. I make a report.
But then I'm like, really? I'm up here. I mean, that's their job to pick you up. So, I mean, I feel like the feedback is good.
Well, I mean, I was so confused. Like, this bus just blew past it. Like, it did not slow down. It was like, whoosh. We just looked at each other like, what happened? God, I want to go on vacation. That's a self-care thing. I feel like in this pandemic, too, it's been hard to do the things that I would consider to be self-care and trying to adapt that to the way things currently are. We talked about the mental, how it was important to get the mental right to figure out the physical. And I can tell when my mental is off, when I'm not taking care of my physical. Like, there's a lot of daily things, like just before bed, washing my face. Like, in the beginning of the pandemic, oh, girl, I bought like a steamer. I was like, we are going to have spa days. We're going to do this. But just washing my face, brushing my teeth, like just, I mean, I brush my teeth, but like the flossing, like just care, like just regular things you do.
Yeah, like a shower.
Like my eyebrows, like beauty stuff. Like, and I think one of the things I'm realizing is that looking good makes me feel good. And when I have neglected things that I consider beauty stuff, I guess, I feel worse. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not taking the time, I'm not seeing people, but every so often it's kind of fun to just put makeup on your face, you know, or just play with stuff. Like, you know, I mean, I don't know. I used to do that just before when I had all the time in the world. Like, it's just fun to try new looks or just play, for me. So it's just like, I mean, I found myself not doing my eyebrows anymore. So I was looking like some kind of furry animal.
I've never seen that.
Well, or just, I can tell, you know, like get a little stash growing, you know, cause I just don't care, you know, hair, just things.
Is your husband like fine with that? Like we met that way. So it's just like the way.
No, I was taking care of myself when I met him. I mean, I wasn't doing extra, but I did the basics, like for me, what the basics are and how I grew up and stuff. Like, my nails were always done and like things like that.
Oh,
so,
okay. Yeah,
so not being able to get my nails done. For some people it's hair. I never really do, like, it's funny for me, it's like, I need to get my nails done every 2 weeks. And for some people it's hair, like they're in there all the time getting their highlights, their extra foils put in. And I couldn't understand that, but for me, it's, I don't do my hair, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I do my nails. So that's my thing. So not being able to get that done, but no, my husband's whatever. He's always like, yesterday I was like, I did a box dye on my hair because the grays were out of control. And so yesterday he was like, what are your plans for the day? And I was like, oh, well, first I need to dye this hair, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, it's beautiful. You don't even have, you know, he's very complimentary, very sweet. And I really don't think he cares, you know? Yeah. I mean, I put on weight. He doesn't say, and he's not making me uncomfortable about, you know, I mean, I don't know.
But no, you just said stash, and I was just like, is that enjoyable? Like,
well, I don't have a full-on, like, Tom Selleck mustache, but, you know, you get, like, a hair or two, you know. It gets a little shadowy up here on the top. Yeah, but just simple things, like taking the time to lotion up my entire body after a shower. Sometimes I just don't have the energy to do it. And I'm just like, okay, I'll put it on, like, the key points, boom. Whatever.
It's funny you said that. That's one of my self-love, forms of self-love, is not lotioning up, because I realized I was not loving myself because I would just dab some lotion on. I wasn't really,
pump,
or
get in that jar. And
yeah, exactly. Rubbing it in right. So, like, just doing that rubbing in. And
it's almost like self-massage, like, even for that short little minute, you know, and I used to do that daily, multiple times a day. I was Butters, you know, people used to call me Butters. Like, I had body butters and all kind of stuff. So yesterday was like an amazing day for self-care for me, for physical self-care, which helped with mental. So I got in the shower. My parents had the kids. Husband was at Home Depot doing his thing or whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
So I lit a candle, got the shower all hot. I put on with Dr. Nicole LaPera. So I was listening to it, and I was really like, ooh, when she's talking about the archetypes, about like being the overachiever or the caretaker. And I was just feeling that. And I had a hot shower, and I did a hair mask. I did this. I did a whole body scrub. I was just in my thing.
Looking fly,
yeah. Or just feeling good. Like, ooh, this is products I hadn't busted out in a while. I was doing everything. You know, lotioned up after, took some time to just sit on the bed in my robe and just like, continue listening and stuff. And it was nice to just have that moment to feed my mind with some information that I had never heard, and then take care of my body. And so, like, for the rest of the day, I felt, you know, like, recharged. Today is back to crazy, so I got to figure out a way to, you know, whatever. But just that.
Is there a space in your home where you could have just for you?
Well, I have my office / craft room.
And that's your space?
Yeah, nobody. Well, people, this is the thing. This is the thing about respecting space. They barge in and out of here like it's whatever. Like, if the door is closed, there's no knocking. It's just boom. You know, I mean, how kids are. Everybody just opens the door. I think the only people who knock are my parents. Yeah.
Well, you got to teach them how to knock. You don't want them, they might open the wrong door and get knocked out. So you want to make sure, like...
No, they know how to
as a
knock.
kid-
This is the boundary thing. They know how to knock. They
Yeah.
knock on bedrooms, like, oh, knock, knock, can I come in?
okay.
But, but this room is just like a, mommy! Or,
Yeah.
babe! Like, it's like I could be doing who knows what in here.
They're young enough. Yeah. They're young enough for you to start now setting that boundary.
Well, it's not that. It's
and
my
it won't
husband
be a
walks
thing.
in too. Like, just, boop.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he's young enough now for you to start setting that boundary.
And I don't have a lock on the door either.
And it's just a hard thing to do because you kind of feel, I don't know, I'm putting words into your mouth, but for me, I'm speaking for myself. I would kind of feel bad. Like, I haven't told you, I haven't done anything before. I was letting you in and now I'm just going to change. But it's like, no, this is a new boundary. It's just change. Life is change. So
I think it's an access
it's no
thing.
big deal.
Like, everybody always has access to me. And so that's where I struggle.
Easy access, baby.
Well, that's
Easy
where
access.
I struggle. There's like a guilt to saying, no, you're cut off right now. Or no, you need to go.
Yep, the guilt, exactly.
So lately I've been like, go ask your daddy. Go ask your daddy. Like, I'm not the only one around here who can do anything. So
Yeah.
that's my current thing I'm focusing on is, hey, like.
That's exciting. Oh my God.
Because I've said it before.
This little
Like,
butterfly over here.
I've been in the shower and my kids will literally walk past 3 grown adults to me to open their drink. Like, it's like I'm in the shower.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things too, and I don't know if I've set this up myself, where they only want me. It's always like a no, mommy
it
can
feels
do
good. That's validating. It's like, yeah, look, I'm taking care of these kids.
I think
These
at
kids
one
need
point
me.
it was validating, and at one point I was the only one around. Daddy was at work all day, and Grandma and Grandpa they live with us now, but they weren't here, so it was just me. But it's not anymore.
You the homie.
But it's not anymore.
You the
So
ain't
let mommy take a shit in peace, please, before you try to get your fruit snacks open, okay?
It's kind of cool talking to you too, because I think
Thanks.
one of my mommy issues
Thank you.
is that, like, I felt like I didn't get enough time, and it's like, is that true? Because that was like,
With your mom?
as growing up, I mean, yeah, with my mom, and so it's like, oh, maybe that's just like just a kid, like I didn't understand, like, mommy needs time too, so I took that as rejection. Oh, you don't.
Dang, see, now you got me feeling like I can't do this. I don't want my kids to. You know what, though? I do.
But you just use your words. Speak, the old school don't really.
That's what I was about to say, is like that was a different time. I feel like parenting today versus when we were being parented, so different. So different.
Yeah.
We had a lot more independent time. And I'm concerned about kids today because it seems like they're very codependent because they aren't getting that time alone to sit with themselves. And like like when we're talking to Krista, they're getting tablets. They're getting something to fill that instead of let me be creative and think about what game I'm going to play. Who am I going to pretend to be? Let me dream. Like, I don't think kids have that time anymore. Whereas we did. We had a lot of alone
Did I
time.
send you this?
No.
Did I send
Probably.
you this meme where it was hilarious? It was a girl, and I felt it too. There was this girl, and little girl, she said, "Oh yeah, mommy, you're gonna take my tablet away? Oh really? What? So you mean you're gonna spend quality time with me and play tea?" It was like, dang, she calling out mama like that.
But I feel like that's part of what it, and I've caught myself in that. Like, no, you know what? I really don't want to get on the floor and build Legos with you. So here. And it's guilty as I feel. I don't want to deal with whatever it is. I got my own whatever going on.
But you don't. But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Once you figure it out, then you'll have time for the Legos. Then you can do it.
Yeah. Well, it's exhausting too. And on a very real note, I can't pick myself off the floor as well as I used to be able to. If I get down there, I may not go back up. So I'm gonna need help.
Isn't ready.
These little boys need to pick me up. But it's it's exhausting to play as an adult.
Yes, girl.
It's
That's
very
why
hard.
I don't know if I could have kids. I play with the cats 5 seconds. I'm like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, my poor dog. I don't even want to talk about poor Cardozo.
Aw, Dozo, boo boo.
He doesn't play anymore. He just likes to lay and put his booty in your face. Like, literally, he backs it up. I'm like, okay, dude.
He just likes to lay and put his booty in your face. Hey,
Dang.
go Dozo, get it. Uh-oh, you got moves, girl.
I know I do. Shoot. but no one will see them.
Moves like
One of the things, because I'm all about efficiency, because I said there's physical and there's emotional, mental self-care, but I was looking for things. I was really like, what are things that would feed both sides? You know, like what can I do in a shorter amount of time that would help my physical and help my mental, emotional? And one of them is just breathing, right? Like learning how to breathe. And I used to practice yoga. And I think that's something, in listening to that YouTube, whatever clip yesterday, made me realize there are often times in the day where I'm holding my breath. Like I'm just like,
same.
Yeah. And I just realized, oh my gosh, like I wasn't breathing, or I was breathing so shallow. It wasn't even like that's such a weird thing to just realize you're not breathing. So to do deep belly breaths, to take some time to just, how energizing that is to breathe. Like that's so weird. But breathing's important.
Look at this. We went from showers to breathing. I feel like like this is sad.
Just
the
my
basic
self-care.
things, autonomic. I can't even really.
But that's sad to think that we have gone so far into whatever it is that we are dealing with, that those basic things aren't even being met. So that just shows how much work, or how much we have to dig ourselves out of. There's a song that makes me think of all this. And it's good for me. It's about friendship. I'm going to tell you anyways, about friendship or about love. When I first listened to it, I thought it was about love, but I can see it. Like, I feel like it applies here because you're introducing me to a lot of things that I wasn't aware of, but it's Incubus and it's Dig. So listen to that.
I have to listen to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it talks about ego. It talks about, I think the words are, when I turn into another, dig me out from under what is covering the better part of me.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
It's like a different words for what we've been saying.
I love that song. So it's one of those things,
like
in life, in day-to-day life, I think this is an important part of self-care, is surrounding yourself with people who know who you are and remind you and reflect back to you who you are when you forget, because you will forget, especially when you get bogged down in the day-to-day, or your negative thoughts, or you're going through something. Like, it's good to be surrounded by people who can feed you who you are when you've forgotten. So
yes, I like that.
I love that song.
Yes.
I'm gonna listen to it.
Feed you who you are when you've forgotten. Yeah. But sometimes you change and people are trying to feed you the old you.
Then they can go
and it's
somewhere
like,
else.
I'm not even I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
So, I mean, I dip a little bit, but not that far.
But there's some core stuff about, like you're a good person, to have somebody reflect that back to you. Even if they don't know, hey, today she doesn't like to eat this, or she doesn't do that, who you are.
You vegan?
Still. Yeah. So, I don't know. But that, it just made me think of that song. I love that song. That song will make me
I'm gonna
cry.
listen to that after this. Yeah. So that's another thing that I was saying. In the morning, just jamming the music. I love my devotional music and inspirational music. I also love like my old school R&B.
Yes.
So just anything.
Feel good.
That's what I like to listen
stuff.
to in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah. The funk music. It just really gets my day going. And so
you know what? There's something about that. Like how you start your day sets the tone for the rest of your day. Yeah. Music is powerful.
But I decided I'm going to work out, because I used to say, I'm going to work out in the morning and let's kick off my day. But for some reason, I'm just not motivated to exercise in the morning. So I think that if I exercise at night, it'll give me kind of a boundary between work and my personal life. And that'll be like the transitional phase. So it'll be, okay, now it's the cutoff time. Now I got to go work out. Then I take my shower and everything, and then do something that's only for me. And so just making that a practice is hard, because it's just like I get bored with working out. Like there's only one workout. Let me stop. But
360.
I get bored with working.
360.
Yeah, get it.
Well, I'm the opposite. I've always been a first thing in the morning workout. Like I would get up.
I remember we did it together.
Yeah. I was working out like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And for me, I had a friend that was on the East Coast, and we would text each other. Are you at the gym? Okay. Are you at the gym too? And I think for him, he was like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., but he was at the gym. So we would check in every day and text while we were like on the Stairmaster or on the treadmill or whatever, like just to check every single day. You there? Okay, cool. Like, because I'm a morning person. I've always been a morning person. I get that from my dad. It's one of those things where the thing you don't want to do at all, do it first. Do what you have to do before you do what you want to do, which is what I tell my daughter. You always do what you have to do before you do what you want to do. Because, you know, I'm like teaching myself things as I'm teaching my kids, which is weird. Because I want them to do things the right way, or at least what I think is the right way. And so it's resetting some of the thoughts in my head. Like, you have to do what you have to do. Do what you have to do, then you can do what you want to do. And so, and thinking more about that, that's kind of how I think, like, my dad trained me. I mean, you do what you have to do. So he and I, growing up, we would go to the gym in the morning before school. Like, we would work out together in high school or whatever. And so that kind of set it for me. Like, I'm not very good. Come 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I have no energy. I am zapped. I will not go to the gym. And I will not deal with all the people at the gym. Because that used to be a big turnoff for me.
Mine was social anxiety, I think, for the gym. But then once we went here to working out at home, I still was, I mean, I did it for like the first part, but then I stopped. So
I think there's a part of me that's like, I need people at the gym to see that I'm there. Because there was a period of time where there was this guy, it was like this big Russian strong dude. And I would see him every morning in the weight room. And I missed like a day or two. I went on a trip and he was like, where were you? You know, and it's not like we knew each other, but, you know, you see each other and you just kind of acknowledge.
That's cute. He probably was trying to
flirt.
No,
it wasn't. He was a lot older. Well, I mean, maybe, I don't know.
He was probably trying to flirt. Like, what that got to do with?
It didn't come off like that. For me in the I don't like to go to the gym when it's social hour, when people aren't there to do business and do work. Like, I like to get in, get out, do my thing. I'm not trying to wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes for somebody to figure out how to work the elliptical. You know what I mean? Like, I can't deal with that. But yeah.
Get your own elliptical, girl. Call it a day.
Yeah, no, now we got stuff we have like a little home gym that we've set up, so it's been nice. I've been able to do my yoga. It's right in front of like these big windows, so I can see like nature. That was another thing that feeds both emotional and physical, is communing with nature, getting outside, going for a walk, and like just, this sounds so stupid, looking at the trees and hearing the birds and just being in nature and like taking it in. Yeah, I like that.
I'm like that. I'm not like that already. People are always like, I'm easily amused, and I'm just like, you know, it must suck to be that miserable. But yeah, I love to look at a tree. You know,
I love to look at a tree. Did you just say that?
Yeah,
I love to look at a tree.
I do. That's exactly what you just said. Like, it's just like looking at it and appreciating the beauty of it.
Yeah.
You know, so just the little things. It doesn't take a lot. Like, just because it's not what am I supposed to be looking at? And what is it to you?
Your
phone. That's where I keep coming back to. What is it to you?
Dang.
And the only time it really bothers me is when it's like their externalities, or, you know, like, it's not just your own thing. You're messing up somebody, or you're hurting someone or something like that. But other than that, who cares? I don't care what y'all are doing. And I don't care. And that used to be part of the gym thing. I would go to the gym and I was like, they're all looking at me. And I was so paranoid and uncomfortable. And I would try to get into the zone. So when I was doing the running, I got into the zone.
Yes.
And then that guy was like, oh my God, I didn't know you could run so fast. And I think I got self-conscious from there. And then kind of just, you know, I was like, okay, this is uncomfortable. I knew they were watching me. Now I got proof they were watching me.
Why do people say stupid stuff? I didn't know you could run like that.
It's like, dang, it's in my genes. Let me stop. People are always shocked at how fast I can run.
I mean, I was surprised. I mean, you were. And it wasn't even a fast, because it was, you keep a high pace consistently. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have that stamina. I mean, you got some stamina.
Well, I can't.
Or something. I don't know, but like
I was building it back then, but I can sprint. I'm a sprinter. Whew.
I can't. But what I'm saying is, you kept that sprint pace for a long time. Like, it wasn't like intervals or anything like that. Like, you were going, like you were running from something.
Yeah,
like,
it was really the good music, the Master P, good old music back in the day.
That reminds me of that beach trip
I would get into a zone. It was like it was like a drug or something. It was just like something was hitting it. It was hitting it. I don't know what it was. Back in those days, when I would run, the first part would be like, oh God, I don't want to do this. And then I would hit that
runner's
flow
high
and just be in the zone. Yeah. That endorphins or whatever. Yeah. It was
That's
great.
a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was training for that marathon, it's a real thing. And I'm not a runner. at all. But like 1 to 2 miles and you're hating it. Your shoes feel uncomfortable, everything's nasty. And then all of a sudden you just like are out of your body and you don't feel anything. You don't feel pain. You don't feel anything. And you're just running. It's weird.
I think maybe it's like the hormones and chemicals or the inner workings all, working together because you're moving your body.
I should start running. I gotta see a doctor first, make sure my knees can handle it.
So what are you doing today to take care of yourself?
For me, I think one of the things kind of akin to your pre-check story with the airport is making sure things are in order. Remember our old mentor said, a cluttered office is a cluttered mind or whatever? Mm-hmm. So for me, there's still things that are not in order.
Oh, yeah, that's not you.
It's everything needs its place. So I can feel comfortable. Like, when things are a mess, it messes your mind.
Just get organized. I think that's a form of self-love. But just keeping things clean, which the pandemic really helped me with because I'd be on the go so much that I would have to let it go. And then struggle to get everything organized again, having things clean. And that's what I'm going to say. Like waking up, making the bed even is self-love. Yeah. Because it's like, even though it might be common sense for you, it's not for everybody. Just those little things. And it does something and it makes you feel good, like to start your day. It's
lost that.
Everything's in order.
As a child even. I didn't even get up to go to the bathroom first. I would make my bed first. I was very anal about that, even as an adult. And then I've noticed recently, I don't do that anymore. And I feel like that's a little light bulb. What's going on that you're not doing the basic stuff that you have always done in your life? Just simple things.
But it's good that you're aware to ask those questions.
Yeah.
But it's like even every day, like I take a shower, get dressed.
That's another thing. Because it's so easy for me to just put my PJs back on. If I'm not going anywhere, just throw the PJs on. Yeah.
And I get dressed. So that's why it was funny the other day when you were like, wait, you have pants on? Yeah, I make it a thing. And, it's just like, I may not be outside, but I'm still like, it
feels good.
It's a way to make me feel about
you
connected to myself.
What else? I put on my list of emotional, mental meditation, prayer, no, prioritizing yourself. And then like we just talked about having a clean space, physical, like the beauty stuff, like we talked about, like just for me, it's like, a proper exfoliating scrub, however often I need to do that, or just things that I feel are making me feel beautiful, taking care of the external.
Yeah.
Fitness, sleep. Sleep is a big one.
Sleep is a big.
Getting enough.
I have no control over it now. I gotta sleep.
I think, just with the anxiety, and again, I always bring things back to being a mom. I feel like sleep is something that hasn't been normal for me over 10 years.
Since you were exercising at 3:30?
Well, before law school. I think law school messed up my whole body, my whole life. I have unnatural caffeine requirements and things like that. So, but I'm a very light sleeper. It's even more so now that I have children, and couple that with anxiety. And it's like, I was waking up to make sure the baby's still breathing, waking up every 2.5, 3 hours to breastfeed. It's a thing because you got to feed those babies through the night, and now it's the pitter patter of little feet in the night. Like, where is this child going? And now they're small enough to get into trouble, but big enough they're able to open doors and do stuff and curious to do stuff. So it's just a whole thing.
That's your instinct too. So for me, I probably have to get some kind of motion detector because I'm a heavy sleeper.
They make them. Yeah. I think it's called Halo. They make a little booty you put on the little kid's foot when they're a baby, anyways, and it monitors their breathing and monitors everything. And if anything goes bad,
you know me. That's something I would tell. Look, I'm thinking I'm inventing stuff. It already sounds good.
Like the temperature. If the temperature drops too low in the room, it'll tell you it's cold in the room. Like it's the things that they're coming up with now are amazing.
Like my watch would go off, any kind of thing. Because that would kind of give me some kind of peace of mind. But then I wouldn't trust it. I'd be like, ooh, what if the internet went out? What if the power went out? Girl. Is it cellular backup? Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't ask you, what are you doing today for self-care?
What am I doing today? Going to continue folding and organizing, listening to music. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
If you could give me one assignment.
That's all I'm doing for self-care.
For self-care that you think is crucial, what would it be?
Journal. That would be my assignment. What about you for me?
I say roll out the yoga mat and just stretch. I don't know when the last time was that you just stretched. Stretch your body out and then just lay and breathe. Savasana.
Somebody made a good point. The cat doesn't have to get permission to stretch. They just naturally stretch. So what is it about us that's different from cats where we don't even do the natural thing that we're supposed to do? We don't do anything we're supposed to do.
It's not a priority.
Yeah.
Our priorities are the things that other people have put on us, I feel like. So we need to address those because we don't want to let anybody else down. What's my deadline for work? Do I need to do this for somebody? Do I need whatever? And then at the end of the day, you're so spent, you don't have any energy to do for you. Yeah. That's why in the morning, do what you have to do or do what you want to do. And make it a have to do. I think that's my thing. I need to make the self-care a have to do. Because I'm treating it as I want to do that, but I'll get to it when I get to it. Instead of...
See, that's why I'm doing it at night, because I'm treating it as a want to do. And that I love myself so much that I don't have to force myself to do it at a time where I don't want to do it. That it's something I'm going to look forward to and do because I love myself that much.
I like the way that sounds.
And so that's what I'm trying to psych
myself out. But for me, I don't prioritize the wants. So that's why at the end of the day, I run out of steam and I haven't done anything for myself that I want to do because I'm busy doing what I feel I have to do. But yeah, I like that. I want to do this. So at the end of the day, after doing everything, this is my treat, is to be with myself and to love myself. Yeah. I need to go feed my children.
And I got to go to therapy. All right, girl. It's been real. Bye.
Bye.